Hey guys, hey, thanks for taking a minute to watch our video. I'm talking with Dr. Fyke right now. Dr. Fyke is in Waco, Texas, and he's going to talk to you about um, kind of what his experience has been like working with Tanner and I and Legit5 marketing. Hey Sean, thanks a ton for taking some time to talk with us. How you doing today?
Absolutely, man. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Cool. We're doing good, thanks.
Awesome.
Hey, if you could you just take a minute and introduce yourself and talk about your practice, where you're at, how long you've been in practice, how many, what your staff is, and kind of what their positions are. Kind of give us the nature lowdown on your office.
So my name is Sean Fyke. I am in Waco, Texas. Waco is about 100 miles south of Dallas or north of Austin, depending on which way you're looking. We're pretty much right in the center of the state. About 125,000 in Waco proper, and then all these little bedroom communities probably get us more like 200,000. I am a 98 graduate from Parker.
Right on.
Graduated there, went into private practice, struggled quite a bit, became an associate for a while, back out on my own again a little while, and then actually went to work for an MD for about 6 or 7 years. And then 3 years ago, went back on my own again. And my practice was a lot of workers' comp, and that's how we kind of stayed afloat. We made our money. We did well. I never felt like I knew exactly what I was doing growing a traditional chiropractic practice.
Right.
But now, 2020, we've got myself. I have an MD on staff, a PT on staff, a PTA, a rehab tech, 4 massage therapists, an associate chiropractor, an office manager, and 2 assistants.
Right on. That's huge.
Yeah, and it's a drastically different practice than it was even say 3 months ago.
Right. Cool. Well, yeah, we've made some changes. We have made some changes.
Absolutely.
Tell me, so we've worked together for about, I want to say about 4 months, maybe it's been 5. Tell me how you came to working with Tanner and I and Legit5 marketing.
Sure. So, Dr. Rob reached out to pretty much every DC in the state of Texas through a Facebook group when we were all really struggling due to COVID and the restrictions put on us in practice, and getting the message out to our patients that we were or were not open, what our hours were, all these kind of things. And, he extended that offer, and we had an EHR system that we used, but we didn't come anywhere close to utilizing everything it could do. So I reached out and I just said, hey, Doc, I saw your message. Can you tell me what we're talking about? And you integrated a text message and an email campaign, completely imported our database, reached out to our entire patient base, letting them know we were open, we were seeing patients. Here were our protective procedures to help keep our patients safe and our staff safe. And once we had done that for a period of time, you even reached back out and we talked a little bit about the business side of what you do. And there was no pressure to try. And I want to say maybe the first time ever in 20 plus years of practice, the person that was asking me at some point to spend my money said, you know what, I'm going to front the money up front to start you some ads and show you what I can do. And so we went that route. We got together and talked about what I wanted a campaign to look like. You gave me some pointers of what you've seen be successful. And I mean, literally within about 3 days, I'm saying to my wife, holy cow, I don't know what I'm going to do. There's too many new patients. I mean, it was ridiculous.
That was cool. That was cool.
It was overwhelming. And, I feel like I've tried a little of everything. I don't know that I did necessarily any of them well, but I've done print, I've done billboards, I've done radio, I've done TV, I've done up to, $1,800 a month for a company to manage websites and Facebook and post. And it was not even remotely in the same ballpark as the volume of new patients you generated almost overnight.
Right on. Thanks. And it did feel that it was pretty cool to watch that unfold. And we always do watch we watch our campaigns tight for those first few days and see how things are going. And that was a lot of fun to see that. And we knew that was going to impact your practice in a positive way. That was cool.
It's just been unbelievable.
So
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
So, I mean, it's not because of our workers' comp business, we were in a decent spot other than COVID had slowed that down as well. But the true, however you want to frame it, chiropractic side of the business, wellness care, true chiropractic only patients, it was struggling. It was tough. It was slow. As much money as I was throwing at internet marketing, I was doing great to get solely from that. I was doing great to get 1-2 new patients a week, maybe.
Oh, wow.
You know, that's kind of where we were just stuck. It didn't matter how much money I threw at it, which company I turned it over to, because literally every consultant that called you said, oh, we're the greatest ever. You know, we can beat so-and-so by so much. And it never panned out ever.
That's tough. It does happen. It does happen. And, you know, that's funny to think you got maybe 1 or 2 or 3 new patients a week from some of those other marketing efforts. Because, man, I know we've changed that in a huge way.
Oh, it's been ridiculous. I mean, I know we've had days where we've had 15 new ones.
Yeah.
When we first started this, I literally looked at my wife and said, you know how we've always talked about hiring an associate? I said, you know, I don't know what to do at this point other than hire an associate. With absolutely no exaggeration, I was 6 full weeks out on scheduling before I could see a new patient.
Right.
We were literally losing patients because they were having to wait so long to get in. I could not process any more new patients and still see my existing patient base.
I know. I guess that's a good problem to have.
That was an amazing problem to scale. You know, and even to now, wherever we said we were at, 4 to 5 months down the road, with only a couple little tweaks here and there, you know, we're still at probably consistently 6, 8, 10 new patients a day.
Right.
I mean, pretty consistently. And it's just, it's hands down been more productive than anything I've ever seen for marketing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I know you even had to start working on some Fridays when
Right.
you typically didn't work Friday, but we were doing everything we could to accommodate the new patients that we had scheduled. So
Absolutely. And even since hiring an associate, and she's full-time, she's seeing patients all day, 5 days a week. You know, the 2 of us are still busy, and we're sharing the new patients, you know, treating back and forth, but it's still, there are days like, you know, today's a Thursday. It was a Thursday, which typically was not a terribly busy day for us. And it was just absolutely nuts.
that's great. That's so cool. That's so cool. So, you know, we've already kind of hit on this a little bit, but, you know, at the time that you and I got together, do you have any idea like how many patient visits a week, just kind of a typical amount,
Sure.
or what
So,
collections looked like back then?
right. You know, on again, what I would call just the chiropractic side of the practice, when we're taking workers' comp out of the equation,
Right.
because those patients see my PT a lot, they'll see the medical doctor, they may not even be seeing me. But we discount that and we're talking about our chiropractic only patients. You know, we were at maybe 50 visits a week.
Wow.
Now, I wasn't typically here on Fridays, but it was pretty stagnant. 20 plus years in practice, and you know, I admittedly don't prescribe a lot of really long-term care packages. I'm a big believer in, you know, getting the patient out of pain and then kind of letting them direct their care, which, you know, I know is something that we could argue about all day if we get enough DCs in one room. But that's just not how I've ever practiced. And once we started this, you know, our numbers as far as in collections, you know, were 10 to 15,000 a month on just those patients. You know, if it was not for the remainder of the practice, you know, I surely wouldn't have, you know, a staff of 15 and, you know, the better part of a 5,000 square foot office. I couldn't afford a PT without these guys. Well, now, you know, it's taken me 22 years to get there, but we've hired an associate. You know, the chiropractic side of the office is so far beyond in the black. It's unbelievable. You know, patients are coming, they're staying, they're referring friends and family. they're sharing our Facebook ad. We've at least doubled the monthly revenue for chiropractic patients. The new patient numbers are just through the roof. The patient visits weekly are at least 3 times what they used to be. It's been dramatic.
Excellent, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what is it that Legit5 or Tanner and I, what did we put in place for you in terms of marketing? What have we put together for you?
So you guys built us a Facebook ad. We made you whatever page roll it is with Facebook. It's out of my realm.
Yeah.
And you and Tanner went in and built this ad. All the text, knew exactly what to say, how to say, where to say, and what the photos should look like. There was literally nothing I had to create. And in a period of less than a week, that ad was up and running and new patients were calling. You have your own, you and Tanner, correct me if I'm using the wrong language, is it a CRM software?
It's something like that.
Something like that, right, where you guys helped us communicate with all these new leads and getting patients scheduled, and they could schedule directly. Automated text messages and reminders and emails to get them into our EHR system. You guys did everything essentially except check them into the front desk and examine the patient.
Yeah, well, I think we're working on that, Doc.
Yeah.
I think we're working on that, see what we can do. But that automated scheduling software, that had to be a huge load off of your staff. I mean, they're already processing another, they're 10 to 20 or more new patients a week from this. Imagine right. if we were just giving you a list of names and phone numbers and saying, here you go, good luck with that.
Absolutely.
Probably wouldn't work.
My wife is in a somewhat related business and has a medical spa, and she has a company that runs Facebook ads for her. And that's literally what she gets, is a name and a phone number, and everything is on her and her staff to just make these phone calls.
Right.
And
right. One day we're gonna get to work with her, see if we can't change their life too.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, so what about now? We kind of hit on patient numbers, and we've talked about collections and what they were and what they are now. How's this impacted your business? How's the staff feel about the practice? I know you guys have been on some retreats for hitting some numbers with your staff.
Right. Yeah, we took the entire office staff with a +1 to Cabo for a week as a reward for all the hard work and effort. And absolutely, they were overwhelmed at first and couldn't imagine how we were going to process this number of new patients. But with a little scaling, absolutely some help from you guys and some coaching, we've got it under control. We've got a very streamlined process from when they see the ad to, when they're face down on the table for their first treatment. It works pretty flawlessly now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know you're back to being able to take some more time for yourself.
Yeah, I'm typically off every Friday. I don't usually practice a full day most days of the week. I'm here, but I don't typically work on Fridays, so I can spend my time with my wife and my kiddos. As COVID lets us, we travel. My wife and I just went to Cabo again.
Right.
And I didn't have to worry. Are the new patients coming? Is my staff handling it? Do I need to have to micromanage a Facebook ad and respond to any question they have? It's all handled. That's
great. That's great. And we love working with you, Doc. We do. Man, I can't thank you enough for taking this time to talk and sharing your thoughts.
No, I mean, I cannot imagine even being remotely close to being able to duplicate the same thing you did. There's no way I could have done this, scaled this quickly on my own. There's no reason to pretend I could have. Yeah. I cannot picture doing anything differently at this point.
Well, that's cool. I feel blessed to have been able to meet you and work with you, and for us to be able to participate in your practice growing and scaling, and you being able to hit goals that you thought were way out there. I've loved every minute of working with you.
Awesome. No, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like, I just couldn't be happier with the results.
You're awesome. You're awesome. Thanks for saying that. But you know, I'm going to share this with a lot of people. They're going to see it. You know, what if someone wanted to talk with you and get your kind of in a private conversation, get your feelings on working with me? Would they be all right if they call? Or would you be all right if they called you?
Oh, no, absolutely. You know, forgive me if I can't answer the second you call, but I will absolutely call, text, email. It may end up being after hours, but I will try my best to answer every person. I understand that, you know, you're skeptical. You know, every guy out there, just like I mentioned earlier, is going to tell you they're the best at what you do. And yeah, every single guy is going to have one guy that's going to tell you how great it was. I think Doc's got plenty more than that. But, you know, if there's a question I can answer, you know, I am more than happy to talk to you and tell you my experience.
Right on. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it again. You know, I graduated from Parker in '96, December of '96. In Texas. I loved my time in life in Texas. Actually, I thought that I was going to be a Texas resident for the rest of my life, you know, and so I'm excited to be able to work with you down there, and then I'm able to help our profession. So anyway, hey, I'll let you go.
Okay.
We'll be talking. Obviously, we'll be talking. But
yeah,
thanks again. Thanks a ton for taking some time to chat with me. Have a good one, Doc.
You bet. You take care.
Thanks.